You may have heard there's no such thing as a stupid question. And if you're trying to serve the other person, trying to be helpful in the conversation, then that's totally true. There's no such thing as a stupid question because you're asking the question to understand more about what that person's trying to share with you. Trying to understand more so that you can ask a deeper level question. Trying to understand more so that you can give your best advice, knowing everything about what they're trying to explain to you. So if you don't ask that question, you can't go deeper. You can't give great advice because you don't really understand it. So what prevents us from asking questions? You might say, well, I don't want to interrupt them. Well, that's true because interrupting usually is a sign of rudeness and it signals impatience. But in this case, you're not, quote, interrupting them to tell them something because you're so brilliant or talk over them or get your point in. You're waiting for a moment in the conversation where you can just say, hey, excuse me, can we just go back? I don't think I understood that fully. Can you just tell me one more time what that means? So the person's not going to be insulted by that. They're going to be honored by that you would want to get all the information from them and give them a chance to explain it more clearly and at another level of depth potentially. They're going to be honored by that request because you're going to signal to them that the reason you're asking is to give better advice, to ask better questions, to understand them fully. That's going to be honoring to them, not insulting. So why don't we? It's not to not interrupt. That's just what we tell ourselves because what it really is pride. We really just don't want to look stupid. Well, what do they think if I ask that question and it was really obvious? Or they're like, you don't know that? Well, they're not going to say that. The person we're trying to help wants our advice and they want us to know what we need to know to give them that advice. And again, they're going to be honored by our question, not insulted by it. And they're certainly not going to turn around and insult us and say, what are you, dumb? You didn't know that? And if they do, well, then maybe that's not a person that we want to be helping. Maybe that's not someone we should be trying to advise. But likely, they're not going to do that. They're going to help you understand it. And we say to ourselves, well, I'll just wait and figure it out later. Or I'll just wait and hopefully they'll use it again later in context that I'll be able to understand. Well, what if they don't? And what if you miss something critical because you let it go on without understanding that point? And then what? You're going to wait till the end and then go, oh, I have a question now at the very end. And they say, well, why didn't you ask me that way back there? First of all, I can't really remember what I was talking about maybe. Or now, knowing that you didn't know that, I've gone all the way through all this. Did you not really understand that either? And you're like, well, yeah, I guess really I didn't understand any of it. You know, how disappointing and insulting is that going to be? It just comes down to pride. We're afraid we're going to look stupid. And if our goal is to serve, then let's just not make it about us. Don't worry how you're going to look. Focus on how they're going to feel when you honor them with a question. Focus on how they're going to feel when you give great advice or ask great questions because you took the time to understand them and to interact with them. Focus on them. When you make it about them and not about you, you really can't be embarrassed because embarrassment is when you're focused on you and how you look and how you feel in this situation. So make it about them. There's no such thing as a stupid question when you make it about them and truly want to help.